shoot, I was just reading about my near-death experience because I'm supposed to share it with you. So I wanted to see what I actually said in the book. So I had a near-death experience, and this happened when I was in my early 20s. And after that experience, I was over the next 5 years, 7 years, I had angels come and tell me what I thought were ridiculous stories. And at the time, I was developing a book on color and fashion for Putnam. And they hadn't bought it yet. It wouldn't be bought for a few more years. But during that time, I started writing down all of these strange fables, because honestly, the angels wouldn't go away until I wrote them down, like word for word. And they got shoved in drawers. They got put on legal pads. And, you know, because, let me put it this way, when you're woken up in the middle of the night, and any of my friends will go, you don't want to wake Tori up. So when you're awakened in the middle of the night, and these spirits won't go away till you write the story down, it doesn't become as important in the moment. And it wasn't until I had a client come to me, and I really wasn't able to do a reading for him. I couldn't create a breakthrough for him. And I thought, well, let me just go get a pad of paper and I'll write down some of your issues going on. So I grabbed this pad of paper, and we sat down and we started working. I started working with stuff, and at the meantime, in the pad, there had been a fable, and he was reading it, and I said, what are you doing? He said, you know what? I've got everything I need. I said, what are you talking about? He said, this answered my question. And I said, okay. Well, that led to that particular guy, and his stories in the book, but that particular guy ended up getting exactly what he needed. And all of our friends started saying, well, what is it you did with so-and-so? And we started the first fable groups. And so what actually happened, and the reason this is now in this form 25 years later, is because we started fable groups, and we started working with people on developing their dreams and having their dreams come true. And a lot of the morals and the stories started making so much sense to people, and they started to, this group just started to actually grow on its own, and ultimately people went their own way. But one of the most fantastic things about that early group is that, you know, two of the people, one won an Academy Award, one was nominated, another one's a best-selling author. Every person in that group has had phenomenal success in their work. And it's through studying and working with the fables. And so when I really look at what the evolution of this project has been, as it started as a color deck, right? It started with color, and then now it's chakra. I started teaching it through the chakras a few years ago. But what's interesting is, it wasn't until I joined with Watkins that they said, can we call this Chakra Wisdom Oracle? And I went, of course. It was perfect. So what I've learned, and what I want to share with you, is that this was never really mine. It was always something that just evolved. And you know, something that's interesting too that I want to say to all of you, what I've learned from this experience is that if you really want to know what you're supposed to do in life, just try to hide from it. And I'll tell you, it will find you. So the truth is that when we find our calling, life does get easier. And I want to leave you with one tidbit on some of this that I think is very, very important for you, is that your entire legacy and your purpose is already written in your past. And that's something that I began to develop with the Chakra Wisdom Oracle, that I think as you listen along, you'll start to find more and more information as the weeks go on. So I hope you'll stay with us and start to get more information about yourself, your legacy, and your own life and journey. I'll see you soon.